German Field Marshal Alfred Jodl once said of George S. Patton, "He was the American Guderian, bold, daring, and fond of great movements. He took big risks and achieved great success." But opinions among the German High Command were far from unanimous. Their views of the Allied leadership ranged from grudging admiration to open contempt, shaped by their battlefield encounters, by ideology, and by the shifting tides of war itself. Through the words and reflections of Germany's own generals, we can uncover how they truly regarded their enemies, and how those opinions evolved as the war turned against them. Let's explore what Germany's most experienced commanders really thought of the men who led the Allied armies to victory. In the chaotic aftermath of the Second World War, Allied interrogators interviewed hundreds of captured German officers. They wanted more than military intelligence. They wanted to know what these men, some of the best trained military minds in Europe, had thought of their adversaries. The results were striking. German opinions of Allied generals were not shaped by propaganda or ideology alone. They were forged in fire, by defeat, by exhaustion, and by the grudging recognition of a worthy opponent. Of all the Allied commanders, none fascinated the German officer corps more than General George S. Patton. To them, he was the living embodiment of their own martial ideals, fast, aggressive, and unrelenting. Heinz Guderian, the father of the Blitzkrieg, once remarked that Patton's maneuvers mirrored his own principles. From the standpoint of a tank specialist, Guderian said, "I must congratulate him, for he acted as I would have done." It was rare praise from a man who helped revolutionize modern warfare. The Germans saw in Patton a kindred spirit, an officer who scorned bureaucracy and worshipped momentum. His insistence on mobility, his belief that war was movement, resonated with men like Guderian and Rommel, who had built their reputations on speed and initiative. To the German High Command, Patton seemed almost too German in his methods. General Günther Blumentritt, who had planned invasions of France and Poland, called him the most aggressive panzer general of the Allies. What impressed the Germans most was not just Patton's victories, but the way he fought them, with audacity, precision, and sheer willpower. Patton's philosophy of warfare aligned perfectly with the Wehrmacht's concept of Auftragstaktik, mission-type orders, where commanders set objectives but left subordinates free to decide how to achieve them. It was a doctrine that prized creativity and initiative, and it made Patton seem, in their eyes, a mirror image of themselves. Yet admiration was never universal. Many German officers regarded Patton as tactically brilliant but strategically reckless. They viewed his lightning-fast drives across France as dazzling but often impulsive, chasing personal glory more than military necessity. His rush to Messina in Sicily, for example, was seen as an act of showmanship rather than strategy. Still, even those who criticized him conceded that his presence electrified the battlefield. German tank crews spoke of Patton's advance as if it had a personality of its own, a force